Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100 plus programs and concentration, tools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews with faculty, staff, deans, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. Well, today is going to be a good one if you are a resident of the state of Tennessee. Besides being a great place to live, did you know Tennessee high school seniors and recent graduates under 19 may be eligible for up to 2 years of free tuition for approved associate degree and certificate programs at South College? Well, now you do. My guest today manages this entire program, plus high school recruiting for our whole institution. It is my pleasure to welcome the director of Tennessee Promise Admissions, Ansley South. Hey, Ansley.
Hey, Kathleen. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. So let's talk about what we call the TNP. The Tennessee Promise Scholarship is a really hot topic right now with students looking to higher education opportunities after high school. So let's get into this. The Tennessee Promise Scholarship is very comprehensive and valuable, and it's a 2-year scholarship opportunity. Can you tell us more about this program?
Yeah, so Tennessee Promise Scholarship is the last dollar scholarship program here in Tennessee. You have to be an eligible Tennessee resident here and also apply during your senior year. But also one of the rules is you have to graduate from a high school in the state of Tennessee. So there's lots of requirements that are required within the scholarship opportunities that they ask these students to meet, with mandatory meetings and deadlines that each student is held responsible for from the beginning of their senior year all the way up until they graduate from an eligible institution, college, once they receive a certificate or an associate level.
Okay. Do they need to maintain a certain GPA, particularly during the senior year?
No GPA requirement for during their senior year. There are requirements they have to maintain while they're enrolled in a college during those years enrolled.
Oh, okay. Got it. So the students must also have community service hours ahead of time to qualify. Do you have some examples of what kind of community service this could be?
Yeah, so community services are available on their website that they actually all encourage their students to look at. But volunteering at a shelter, a church, anything that really involves your time and contribution to a nonprofit or a profit or a public service organization will count towards that community service. Something that we really do encourage in admissions is the job shadowing, as that can also count towards community service hours for those students.
Oh, I love that. So let's say you have a family member that works in a walk-up clinic. So you can basically shadow somebody in the clinic who's taking in patients or maybe speaking to patients if you're interested in healthcare. I mean, is that kind of an example?
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that is allowed with, HIPAA and every, regulations, and if they meet the requirements, but, any type of job shadowing, even just talking with someone in, a field, observing, maybe not working solely within a patient's room, but just having that, observation is something that they can definitely do that counts, as long as a family member doesn't sign off on it.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So is this is only for associate degrees and certificates, right? So what do you recommend for those high school students seeking a bachelor's degree if they're not interested in an associate's or a certificate?
Well, yes, Tennessee Promise only covers certificate and associate levels programs. That is one of the requirements that they require those students to enroll under. But if we get a student that comes in through the doors and they have a goal is, to have a bachelor's of science in nursing. We hear their goals, we, listen to it, but then we talk to them about here's what you can, look at prior to looking at that BSN route. You have prereqs that are required. So we show them the available opportunities that they have within the associate levels or certificates that is also in the route of nursing. It's just not that bachelor's level degree if they want to utilize their Tennessee Promise.
Yeah, I would assume that parents, especially when they hear that there's 2 years of free tuition or a scholarship opportunity to cover those first 2 years, I feel like, do you see a lot of parents kind of urging their kids to maybe start with the associates or the certificate first before they go into the bachelor's? I'm a parent, and I think that's kind of where I would be standing is, hey, you can get the first 2 years in for free. I mean, let's look at this.
No, it definitely is, it's something that I think sometimes parents are not aware of, that they realize how much Tennessee Promise does cover until they really go in and start talking to schools that are eligible institutions. So once we explain to them that there are still options and pathways that we can help get them to their overall goal, but they're still using their Tennessee Promise. And so that's really, I think, where it's eye-opening for the parents to see, wow, okay, they're not taking advantage. They know what their goal is that bachelor's level, but let's start with the associate's level, get them the prereqs that are needed, give them a little bit more flexibility, and then possibly still get them in the workforce under that associate's, but then they can also continue on into a bachelor's here with us if they want to.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So tell us what kind of programs are eligible for this scholarship. It sounds like it's a lot.
It's a lot, actually. We here at South College, we offer a wide variety of programs under that certificate and associate level. Some examples would be, of course, the associates of nursing. We have imaging, which includes radiography and diagnostic medical sonography, which is the ultrasound. We have respiratory therapy. We have surge tech, dental assisting, dental hygiene, criminal justice, business. Those are just kind of a handful of what we have to offer, but we offer a wide variety of other programs that can also be done with us either on campus or also online as well.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I kind of wish that was around when I was in school, but
Right?
that's a whole other galaxy away. So that was a long time ago. So you also have the opportunity to go to a lot of high school events, but you also work with a lot of high school students. What kind of programs do most high school students seem to be interested in if you had to pinpoint one particular area?
I would probably say our most popular is going to be that imaging science side of radiography, which is x-rays, and then diagnostic medical sonography, which is the ultrasound. Those are our two most popular within the high school. But then also we get a lot of students that love that nursing pathway. That's a
Of course.
big field that a lot of students love and love to see that we have options that they can start at the certificate to associates, but also can continue all the way up to bachelor's and further.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know when I interview current students at all the campuses that I visit, nursing is by far the biggest program. And in all of the students that I interview that are either first quarter, second quarter, even as late as fifth and sixth quarter for nursing, they love it. They're passionate. They're so focused. So I think it's great that students are interested through high school, that they're thinking about that direction. And we need so many more healthcare workers. So I think that's great. So here's a question. If a student has received the Tennessee Promise Scholarship and they're a current student, and they need to ask a question while they're at South College in school, or they possibly need to take a quarter off for a personal reason, what do you recommend that they do?
The student comes to us in admissions, and they're currently, active student that's been enrolled. We typically advise them to go to their student success advisor and to talk with them, as we don't recommend taking a quarter off if we can avoid. And so that advisor will help talk with them about other possibilities and other options that they could look at to see if that's something that would meet whatever needs that they're needing. But then we also encourage them to talk to their financial aid advisor as well, just to make sure that they understand, if they're having any questions in regards to Tennessee Promise and or if they need to take a quarter off, what would look like and how that would affect their Tennessee Promise. That's something that we just really encourage that they talk to both their advisor for student services and then also financial aid.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. All right, so a more tactical question. Is there a residency requirement, or how long do I need to live in Tennessee to qualify for the Tennessee Promise?
So there is actually a requirement. So you have to live in the state of Tennessee for at least 1 year prior to the start of the fall semester of their senior year. So that is one of the requirements that Tennessee Promise requires for all their students. So you just can't move here during your senior year, that spring semester, and hope to have Tennessee Promise. You have to be at least a resident here for at least a year.
Okay. And is there a residency requirement in that you must be living with your immediate family, or is secondary family like a grandparent? or an aunt or uncle, would that qualify, or does it need to be a parent or guardian?
Parent or guardian.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All righty. So basically, what advice do you have for any student or parents listening interested in the Tennessee Promise Scholarship? What advice would you give them?
Some things that I would definitely encourage and give is, take advantage of such a wonderful opportunity. This was not around when I was in school. And so take advantage of such a great field that you could possibly get yourself into without, looking at taking out loans or anything like that. And that's something we definitely encourage is to take advantage of that, but also don't be afraid to ask questions if you're unsure. Apply during your senior year, ask questions. Everyone in Tennessee Promise and Tennessee Achieves is willing and able to answer those questions, along with counselors and college admissions officers that are eligible institutions. They all have the questions and answers as well. So don't be afraid to ask those questions when you're going through your their senior year.
Yeah, I agree. And just as a follow up for the listeners, if you are interested in learning more about the eligibility requirements for Tennessee Promise, you can actually visit the Tennessee Promise website at www.tn.gov/TN Promise. And I'll talk more about that in the secondary. But obviously, right now, I want to talk a little bit more about you. What has been your journey and how did you become the overall director for high school recruiting and leading something really important like Tennessee Promise?
Well, Kathleen, I've been in admissions for quite some time. So I'm a University of Tennessee graduated, and I really and truly just always knew I wanted to work with people and help students. I considered teaching back in the day, and I decided not to pursue that pathway while I was in college. So I did a few other fields in recruiting prior to coming over to South College years ago. And I started as a high school admissions officer when I first started at South College and just really fell in love with the passion of what these students, wanted to come in and do. And it was still new. It was still a new process with Tennessee Achieves. It was, not a lot was out just yet. South College was still learning. And so I just kind of built more interest throughout and then just continued to grow and worked my way up and transferred over to the Nashville campus, helped the Nashville campus, started with the high school department here at the Nashville campus, and then just really and truly never got tired of it, fell in love with it. And it's the most rewarding job. And it's even more rewarding too when you go sit in those graduations and you hear all the students' names that, sound familiar that you helped along the way in their journey and achieving those goals.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. But you were there for them in day one when they were just getting information and just learning more about the program. And then to your point, seeing them cross the stage to get that degree. That's amazing. I love that. Uh,
Yes.
and you said University of Tennessee, so I'm going to assume you own a lot of things that are orange.
Sadly, I don't. Orange is just not my color. I wish I should probably be a little bit better, but I do not own a lot of orange. I think I have one University of Tennessee T-shirt. Other than that, no.
Wow. Okay,
I
you
know.
may be literally the only person ever.
I know. I hate admitting that. Born and raised in Knoxville, I hate admitting that. But no, our color orange is just not my color.
Wow. Well, but at least you know your color wheel, and that's important. So a fun fact: you just got married last year. So I have to ask, how's it going? What projects are you guys working on? Because every married couple has a project going on. So what's happening?
Not a whole lot. Yes, we got married last year. We're enjoying it, having fun. I feel like we're finally settling down. That year of planning a wedding, takes a lot out of it. So we're just been enjoying each other and really and truly no projects are going on, just working and hanging out and enjoying our time in Knoxville.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm coming up on 30 years, and I wish you'd have a conversation with my spouse because we have too many projects going on. And it seems like every week there's something new happening. So, okay. Well, there's hope for me. I think that maybe we'll get to that point.
Well, my husband's not the most handiest person out there. So
Oh,
it's
uh-oh.
usually me starting the project. So if I don't have to start one, I normally don't bring it up.
I love it. So, with all the high school help and all this great work that you do with our incoming students and also preparing high school students, when you have spare time, what do you like to do in your spare time?
When I have the spare time, I would love it, start my morning every day with a good workout. Just that's kind of my me time,
Yeah.
off my phone, away, off social media, all the stuff. That's usually how I love to start my day before, the day gets going and all the crazies happen. But, and then just hanging out with friends, family, traveling, it's always just fun to get out and see new places and discover new things. And so that's really and truly what I love to do.
Oh, no, that sounds great. I'm kinda digging the whole no screens in the morning. I also too get up and work out, but there's a big old TV screen that I'm staring at, and I'm usually catching up on Real Housewives. There, I said it.
Yeah. Hey, I will do that every so often. It's just not me on my phone, is usually what it is.
Yes, yes. Well, I highly recommend it. So, what kind of student were you in school? I have to ask.
I was a rule follower. I was, whatever the teacher said, I did, and I listened to everything. Yeah, I feel like I was a good student. I mean, my teachers might tell me something different, but I would say I was a pretty good student overall. Turned in my assignments when needed.
All right, good, good. Well, I always ask this, and I can always tell when it's going to be an interesting answer because the first thing that happens is they start laughing,
Yeah.
um, and they're like, "Oh, you're asking me that question." No,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I can definitely see you as a rule follower, and you were probably the first one to raise your hand for stuff, right?
I wouldn't say raising the hand. I was probably more just sit back and let someone else, and then I would follow the lead if I needed to.
Now that's an honest answer. I love
Yes,
that.
that's my personality. Mhm.
I love it. I love it. Well, this has been amazing. And if you want to learn more about the Tennessee Promise Scholarship opportunities at South College, go to our website at www.south.edu and click the admissions tab. And then the menu that pops up below that tab, select Tennessee Promise Scholarship information. And go to that page where you will find a comprehensive list of qualifications and benefits. I want to thank my guest, Ansley South, Director of Tennessee Promise Admission.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. This was a lot of fun. All right, coming up after the break, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the Tennessee Promise Scholarship and some specifics that you'll need to know. Stick around, we'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through Competency-Based Education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Welcome back. You've heard a lot about TMP today, so I figured now is a good time to cover some key details on this important scholarship. With the Tennessee Promise Scholarship, you can receive up to 2 years of tuition-free enrollment at South College in an eligible program at our Knoxville or Nashville campus. At residential colleges, Tennessee Promise doesn't cover housing, meal plans, or other costs. Since South College students live at home and take classes at a nearby campus or online, you won't have any of those additional costs. South College offers not only certificate and associate degree programs, but also bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs, so there's no limit to how far you can take your education without having to change schools. South College provides a hands on learning environment with class sizes that allow for personal interaction and quarter based curriculum that can fast track your education. After your first 2 years of full time study while using the Tennessee Promise Scholarship, you may be able to apply your credits to a bachelor's degree program and work full or part time to complete it on campus or online. With flexible scheduling and opportunities for online learning, South College makes it easier than ever to pursue your career and continue your education at the same time. The Tennessee Promise Scholarship is considered a last dollar scholarship, so it covers tuition that is not paid for by the Pell Grant, Hope Scholarship, State Student Assistance Funds, or other means of financial aid grants. To learn more about the application process and eligibility requirements, visit the Tennessee Promise website at www.tn.gov/TN Promise. Available to students graduating from eligible Tennessee high schools, homeschools, or those earning a GED before the age of 19, the Tennessee Promise Scholarship is a monetary gift awarded for college tuition. The scholarship amount is variable based on remaining cost of tuition and fees and paid after all other gift aid has been applied at an eligible post-secondary institution like South College. Maintaining your Tennessee Promise Scholarship at South College requires adherence to the scholarship's community service component, including 8 hours of your time donated to qualifying nonprofits or public service organizations per each quarter of your enrollment. To maintain eligibility throughout your time spent as a student, you must officially volunteer for an organization on the record without accepting payment of any kind. You may not be supervised by a family member, and you must submit your hours before every deadline. To see more information about South College's participation in Tennessee Promise, go to www.south.edu and again, click that admissions tab on the main navigation and then scroll down to Tennessee Promise scholarship information. That's going to do it for us today. With 10 campuses across 7 states, plus online and CBE, there's a pathway for you at South College. The Live from South College podcast is a production from South College Marketing. Hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Live from South College. Thanks for joining me, and if you love it, give it some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day, and let your dreams find direction. Stay safe out there, and see you next time.